All right, let's go over the market for the 11th. SPX first. So if you want to see the overall view of SPX, you can watch the video I put out last night, which is a long-term view of where we're at in the chart. So I think we're currently in a fourth wave of an overall third wave. And I labeled this as wave 3 right here. This hit the 1.61 fib. And so I think we're starting a fourth wave. We started that back on March 21st. Could last all the way till mid-May. But currently, I think it actually topped right here. I think this is the A wave right here. And I think we're in the middle of a B wave right here. So we're looking for a B wave. And you can see up here we have a supply zone up here. I think that's where we're headed to because this looks like a 5-wave move from the bottom. So we have 1, 2, and we hit a third wave today. We started coming down. I haven't looked at futures, so I don't know what's going on with futures right now, but it looks to me like there's a chance the fourth wave's already finished. But I would also expect it to come outside of this supply zone. You can see it hit the very top of it. I would expect it to come down here a little bit, so maybe it's a little bit red. And then I'm kind of just expecting this maybe early next week or maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow starts off red and ends up green going into the end of the week, and that would be the completion of the overall B wave. This can go all the way up here though to 52.73. So 52.73 is the max I would say could go to. And that would complete the overall B wave. This B wave started on April 4th. So I guess it started on the 28th, so it took about 7 days. We're about 7 days into this B wave. So I would actually expect it to end tomorrow. So if it ends tomorrow up here, somewhere in this box, then I think we're looking back down here to 5092 to 5136 for the C wave. So overall, it's going to look like this. And then again, that can be just the overall A wave. And then we could get some kind of bounce. And another leg down here to 49.97-ish. My target's right here, actually, 49.70. So tomorrow, I think we're just probably going to complete this 5-wave move. Haven't looked at futures, but I'm assuming they're probably maybe a little bit red, and we're looking for another leg up. Futures don't really matter anyway. So look for this box between 52.29 and 52.56, and that would be a good place to start buying puts if you want to trade this. If we come down here, I'd probably be buying calls. You're going to be able to make maybe close to 1%. Or 1% move, I mean. So that is SPX. The long-term view is in the video yesterday. So let's go over Tesla now. Tesla worked out pretty much textbook for what I had drawn up. We started off here higher, and I was able to scale into puts. Is that, yeah, this is this morning, yeah. So I have my orders already set. I just kind of actually use options profit calculator. It's probably not the most accurate, but it gives me an idea what the price of the contracts are going to be. And I just set my orders pre-market because I know I want to scale into puts right here. And so I scale in a little bit before we get to the box, and then I put some up here too. And then I go ahead and set my limit sell orders. I put those right around this area right here. No idea if we were to come down here to 165 or just hit the very top of this. I usually put my sell orders around the top of this, and it worked out perfectly. I sold everything right around in here, and then I was trying to figure out what is the next likely move. When you start bouncing out of here, I don't want to be buying puts right here in case it comes down to 165 because we're already in this demand zone. You don't want to be buying puts in demand. You want to be buying puts in supply. So I put more orders up here going into the end of the day all the way up to 175.69 for more puts. And it's kind of unclear though where this is going. I think that there's a lot of different possibilities. We were in a supply zone, so that's a positive if you're short. But this could end up being A, B, C like this. The 1.61 fib is right at 165. And it could also be the start of a B wave. So this could end up being a 5-wave move. It didn't come back into the first wave. This could also be this. And then this would be, this looks like a 5-wave move, so this would end up being, we could get something like that too. Maybe a double top, and then later next week, going into earnings, we come back down here to 165. So with all that being said, I have puts, we're in supply. I'm expecting at least a retrace to maybe 172. But it could also have been this too. There's a lot of different possibilities. It could also be maybe I already said this, but it could be this. We could be coming down to 165 tomorrow. But that doesn't really match up with what I went over with SPX, so I would say that's less likely we come down to 165, and it's a Friday. I would say more than likely we're going to finish somewhere in the low 170s, maybe 172 somehow. And we'll see what happens. But supply right here, demand right here. You have another supply zone if we break above this. And we'll see what happens. So overall on the look, because that's on the 15-minute time frame, it doesn't really look that bullish to me, honestly, this setup. This really does look like, it really does look like that to me. Because we got this 5-wave move right here. And we're retracing here. This is pretty bullish though, I guess. So it could go either way. I'm just going to watch and see what happens. But I'm in puts right now as a hedge. I'm still very delta positive on the overall position. And that's pretty much all I got on Tesla right now. It was like a very shallow, like I didn't really trade that much at all. I was pretty much done by the first hour, I guess. I also bought a call down here for way far out, and I sold that right around here too. So it was a pretty profitable day, but not really that much action, to be honest. So I got some requests for a few stocks yesterday. We have Beam. I'm not sure if these have a lot of volume, so. And on this stock, it's now below all the moving averages, so that's definitely bearish, but you you sold off in the last month and a half from 49 all the way down to 27. You're at the very bottom of standard deviation, so that's looking for a bounce or so. It's kind of hard to read the waves on this one. It's really choppy. So I would really be looking at moving averages and then supply and demand zones. So you have a supply zone right above it at 28 to 29, so that's even more bearish. You're below all the moving averages. You have one down here at starting at 23 bucks. And actually, I think there's one right here too. So there's demand zones all the way. So I'd probably be looking here first at 26 bucks. That's where I'd be looking for support. If that breaks, you're looking down here at this right here at 22.76. So there's your support. You're below all moving averages. I would be looking right here. If you're trying to buy, I'd be looking right here. I'd probably be buying there, to be honest. I'd probably take some risk right here based on how far it's dropped in such a short amount of time. It's probably ready to bounce. And you could look up here at 28 bucks and then a gap fill at 31 as well. So I don't really have that much to say about the Elliott wave. It doesn't look to me, it looks like an ABC pattern, and then this looks like maybe an A wave down. But honestly, it's a bio stock, so it's going to be a lot harder to use Elliott wave on. So I would use supply and demand and then the moving averages. So let's go over the other one. It was CCL. This one's the same. It's below all moving averages at the very bottom of the standard deviations. You have a huge demand zone, weekly, monthly, and daily right here, starting at 13 bucks. This looks pretty weak to me. This looks like it might be a C wave. So I would probably be looking down here, to be honest. You're getting close to the very bottom, same as the other stock, but this is your next support. You're below all moving averages. You can look at the weekly as well. On the weekly, you're also below all moving averages. So all of those are bearish. I'd be looking down here at support. Look one more time, make sure this is not like a B wave. That looks pretty impulsive to me. I'd probably be looking down here, to be honest, 13 bucks, which is about 10% drop. Let's see how long this took. And it looks like you're retracing also. You're basically retracing this move. This made a new high though. So yeah, I think that you're looking at down here is the next, I guess there's a demand zone right here too. So it takes me a second when I don't know the stock very well, but yeah, you're in demand right now. So you want to see it hold this demand zone. Sorry, right here, 1456. So hold 1456, and then you're looking at, if it goes below that, then you're looking at potentially coming all the way down here to 13 bucks, in my opinion, because then you have no moving average support and you have no demand zone support. So hold 1456. I think that you could get a bounce potentially back up here to 16 bucks, but it looks pretty bearish to me overall. And there's one other one, I think it was PLMR. This one looks bullish to me. I already drew this up. It's a 5-wave move from the bottom, so pretty clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 100 bucks on a move higher. You do have a lot of resistance with supply zones, but if I were to guess, I would say 90 to 100 bucks for the 5th wave. And nice consolidation here. I would not want to see it break below the 50-day moving average though, or this demand zone here at 73.53, or you could be dropping all the way down here to 63 bucks, and that would invalidate the whole move. So I think that this is a pretty critical area. Of course, it doesn't really invalidate until it gets back in here to 64.48. So yeah, you just want to see it hold to 50, hold this demand zone, and then you're going to look for that. Maybe it just makes a new high in here, 90 bucks, but you have another supply zone here at 100 bucks as well. So looks pretty good to me. 4th waves are kind of tricky though, so I would just make sure that you have the right stop loss. Let's see. I'll just go over some other random stocks. Apple popped today. So Apple, I had this drawn up right here. It is going straight to that 175.57. Looks to me though, it looks bearish to me still. I think this is a B wave. So I personally think that this is a C wave right here. So it could go a lot higher still. But you have this gap right here at 179. Maybe it hits that. The max is 185. But if it did 185, then it would invalidate a 5-wave move. So this can still be a 4th wave. As long as it doesn't come back into 179 or like 180 basically, and it comes up here, it can still come down here to 158. So this is technically not finished, and I actually don't like this setup for a long play because it looks like a B wave that broke below the A wave, which means you're just getting an explosive C wave up. So I would be looking for that. Microsoft popped really nice today, I think. 1%. Looking more and more like it might be. Let me zoom in here. And then I look at it and I'm like, no, actually that's not. That looks pretty corrective to me. But it needs to hold 430.78, and then this would still be intact. Like that. That would play into the scenario I talked about in SPX where it goes down to 49.70. NVDA had a nice bounce today, out of demand. Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure that this is actually a 4th wave. Yeah, it looks good to me. So, nice bounce here. Maybe NVIDIA bottomed here. Let me make sure this is an impulse move. Looks pretty impulsive to me. So if NVIDIA started the move up here, then I would be looking for a retrace when the market falls, probably back down to this demand zone. You probably have some gaps in here now, maybe not. But nice bounce out of demand. We can just go ahead and look at where the supply zones are and get an idea of where it's going. And if there are any. And I don't see any actually. Yeah, it's gone past everything. So I don't really see anything on NVIDIA, but nice bounce out of demand. We'll have to see what happens with it. If it comes back down here, it'd probably be a good play to buy the dip and put a stop below the low for the chance that it is going to end up being the start of this move up higher. All right, let's look at the dollar. Dollar is even. Okay. And it basically hit my target of 105.57. Yeah, it's pretty much there. It might be ready to start dropping here soon. So maybe we'll just get one more flush, and that will be the end of the 4th wave on SPX. Because the dollar is ready to go ahead and drop. So this could just end up making this. Maybe this is all dip we're going to get is right here. Maybe we just come back down here to 51.10 to 51.4 and hold the 50 DMA, and then we start going higher. Maybe it will only be into April Opex. So I could be wrong about how long it takes. Maybe it doesn't come down to 49.70. Rivian fell today. I would not be touching this right now. It's still bearish. I think it can go lower than this too. You look at the 1.61 fib. Sitting here at 721. So don't be surprised if it keeps on going down. There is no support down here either. It's below all moving averages. Not something I want to touch. However, it does look to me like it probably is going to end up being something like this. So if it comes down here to $7, maybe it's worth scaling into, because no, maybe this is a 5-way move. Either way, I'm not buying it right now. I'll look at it a little bit later. That's not a stock that I want to get into. If you're looking at Trump's stock, then you're not going to want to get into this stock if you're trying to trade this until $28 minimum, and probably all the way down here to the 200 EMA at $24. So I was actually in this stock at, where was that? I think I was in here at 60, and I got stopped out at 57. I lost like 200. I had $4,000 on it for fun, and I got stopped out for like a $3 loss. I was thinking it was potentially going to bounce to 70, but then it just kept on going down. And so now it's going down here to $24. So you can see this is pretty clear too. And this really looks like it is getting ready for a pump after that, though, because it looks like an ABC move. So we could be looking at something like this and another move higher going into the election. So I think it wouldn't be a bad gamble, speculative gamble, if you bought it down here in the 20s. Because again, we're like really over sold on this stock. I know they have like no revenue and it's really speculative, but if you're gonna gamble down here in the high to mid 20s. I think that's pretty much it for this video. Let's look at IONQ. It finally bounced. Started the day, I think yesterday it was at $8. But again, this is going down here to 716 and probably going down to 550. So I expect that to keep on being bearish. And I think that's pretty much it. Boeing still going lower. You might be able to get something down here at 168, but again, 150 monthly demand. I think I'm going to leave it at that. You can let me know in the comments if you want me to look at other stocks and analyze them like I did today. But that's pretty much it. I'll do an update tomorrow. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates. Catch you in the next video.